Hello everyone, today in this video we will discuss about next chapter of your maths, which is quadratic equation in one variable. Any equation which can be written in the form of ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 is known as quadratic equation. In this particular equation, the coefficient of x square is a, coefficient of x is b, and c is called constant term because c has no x. Now b and c in this equation both can be 0, both can simultaneously be also 0, but a cannot be 0 because as soon as a becomes 0, so putting x a is equals to 0 in this particular equation, we will get bx plus c is equals to 0, and this equation can no longer be regarded as a quadratic equation. So conclusion is that in this particular equation b and c can be 0, but a cannot be 0. Now look at another equation, which is x square minus 7x plus 12 is equals to 0. Look at the power of x. Power of x is 2. Maximum power of x is 2. So this equation can also be regarded as a quadratic equation. Now on solving, we will get x square minus 4x minus 3x plus 12 is equals to 0. And finally on solving, we will get x is equals to 4 and x is equals to 3. Now substituting x is equals to 4 in the given equation, so x 4 square minus 7 into 4 plus 12 is equals to 0. On solving, we will get 0 both sides. Hence you can see that zeros are coming both sides. Now since second solution is x is equals to 3, now putting x is equals to 3 in the equation, you can see that 3 square minus 7 into 3 plus 12 is equals to 0. On solving, we are again getting 0 both sides. And 4, 3 are known as roots of the equation. Now we can define roots such as values of x for which when put in the equation becomes 0. Values of x which when put in the equation becomes 0. These values are known as roots of the equation. Since on putting these roots into equation, the equation becomes 0, therefore these roots are also called as zeros. Sometimes they are also called as solution for the x. Now moving to exercise 5.1. In the first question, you have to determine whether given equations are quadratic equation or not. So for a equation to be quadratic equation, the maximum power of x present in the equation should be 2. Let's start solving part 3rd of question number 1, which is x minus 3 whole cube plus 5 is equals to x cube plus 7x square minus 1. Now we can expand x minus 3 whole cube as this. Now we can see that x cube is appearing both sides, so both x cube will be get cancelled. Now remaining part is minus 27. 3 can be multiplied, which results into minus 9x, and x minus 3 is in the bracket plus 5 is equals to minus 7x square minus 1. Now multiplying 9x in the bracket, so minus 9x into x will minus 9x square plus 27x plus 5 is equals to 7x square minus 1. Now we can see that maximum power in the equation of x is 2. So we can say that the resulting equation will be a quadratic equation. Now let's move to the next question, which is question number 2. In question number 2, some values are given in front of the equation and you have to determine whether these values are roots of the equation or not. So from the definition of roots, we know that if roots are put in the equation, then equation becomes 0. So we will simply put the given values of x in the equation, and if equation becomes 0, then these are solutions. Otherwise these are not the solutions of the x, not the roots of the x. So first question is x square minus x plus 1 is equals to 0, and roots given are 1 and minus 1. So let's substitute x is equals to 1 in the equation. We can see that when we substitute x is equals to 1, equation becomes 1, which is not equal to 0. So therefore x is equals to 1 is not the solution of the equation. Now let's move to the x is equals to minus 1. Putting x is equals to minus 1 in the equation, it will result in 3. Therefore we can say that both x and minus 1, x is equals to 1 and minus 1 are not the solution of the equation. Now second part of question number 2 is x square minus 5x plus 6 is equals to 0. The given values of x are 2 and minus 3. Now putting x is equals to 2 and x is equals to minus 3 in the equation, first we put x is equals to 2. So putting x is equals to 2 square minus 5 into 2 plus 6 is equals to 0. And solving we will get 0 both sides. So we can say that x is equals to 2 is the solution of this particular equation. Now putting x is equals to minus 3 on and solving, we will get 30. The value of equation becomes 30, which is not equal to 0, which means x is equals to minus 3 is not the solution of the equation. Now let's move to the question number 4 of the exercise 5.1. In question number 4, we have to determine the value of k. So the value of x is minus 1 by 2 and the equation is 3x square plus 2kx minus 3 is equals to 0. Now since question says that x is equals to minus 1 upon 2 is the root of this equation, so if we substitute x is equals to minus 1 upon 2 in the equation, we should get a 0. So we have substituted x is equals to minus 1 upon 2, and solving we can